Welcome back to the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. I'm Kevin K. Mac McCartney. Alongside me today, we got Buffalo Bud Stanio and John Viveros and Jace. Very excited on the bed. Must have just come back from a walk. How you doing, guys?
Doing
Good.
doing good. Ready to go. Ready to talk some football.
All right.
It's Sunday.
Sunday.
Halloween. I am definitely scared to see the Miami Dolphins go into Buffalo. Tua, I bet, is scared. I mean, on the one hand, he knows that he probably still has his job for the rest of the season. Reports are coming in that Deshaun Watson likely to stay put. However, on the other hand, he does have to face that Buffalo Bills defense that knocked him out for 3.5 weeks last time that he played them. So, yeah, should be a fun one for the Dolphins. Bud, how are you feeling about today's game as our resident Buffalo Bills fan?
Oh, confident. There's no question about that. I'm feeling mighty good about it. Yeah, I mean, basically, Bills coming off a bye. I'm trying to put away the bias for a second, but the Bills coming off a bye after like a very upsetting loss, they're ready to get back to business. And the next step is winning this game, because then basically you're already 2-0 up in the AFC East, and all you have to worry about is the Jets and the Patriots at this point. So if they keep, they're a surefire lock for that. So this is a super important game for them, and they're at home. It's Halloween. I mean, it's the weather's going to be really nice up there, so it's a best case scenario. I really expect Josh Allen, of course, have a good day. He's basically chalk in all DFS matchups. Everybody's picking him in a stack of some sort, and also like Zach Moss is probably going to actually be a part of this game script and be a part of it probably early on. I would expect they're probably just going to try to make this a quick game and try to get things done early.
All right. So before we start going into any other games, we do have some questions coming in, and for those of you watching, just want to let you know you can ask your questions live on Twitch. We are here all the way up until game time. You could also send your questions in through Twitter or Instagram at LMF Scramble. We are also on Facebook too at the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. So wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, feel free to send us your fantasy football questions, and we are here to answer. So let's start with a couple that have rolled in already on Twitter at LMF Scramble, starting with Andrew, who asks, Judy, Devonta, Higgins, or Waddle, half PPR? Bud, I'll let you take this one.
It's tough to trust Judy coming off of his injury, but I really like him here today. I know that they've eased him back. He's been ready for the better part of 2 weeks, but they've been slowly inching him back. I think he's full fire, ready to go. I really like him. I'm just worried about Waddle getting in there, and the Bills defense giving the Dolphins problems. So I don't really like that. Honestly, though, if I had to rank anybody higher, though, I would probably rank Higgins. I'll probably go Higgins just because Burrow's going to spread the ball out against the Jets. Sorry, John. But, it's pretty much going to be safer matchup. If you want to go ahead and play the favorite, I would go Judy, but I Higgins is going to get more work this week. It's not going to be all Chase. It's going to be Higgins. It's going to be Chase. It's going to be Uzma. It's going to be Boyd. There's going to be a lot of ball spreading over there.
So out of those 4.5 PPR, you're going with T. Higgins?
Yeah, overall, it's the safest play.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one, John.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the safest play. I actually think that Waddle's probably a really good play as well. Even with the half, if it was full PPR, I'd probably lean Waddle a little bit more with the half PPR, because he does just get the hits. At the end of the day, from didn't matter Brissett to Tua targets him a lot, especially with that underneath stuff. And at the end of the day, you're just looking for the PPRs, the receptions over. Then he just sees what he can do. So I do agree with Bud that Higgins, but I don't think Waddle is absolute wash. I think that there's definite consideration for Waddle as well.
Yeah, and I can imagine just a lot of safety throws to his way, and yeah, especially in PPR, I really like Waddle in this matchup. Going to be a lot of dink and dunk, 6 yard slants thrown to Waddle. The guy who has the comparisons to Tyreek Hill, just using him, tossing it 3 yards down the field. Jarvis Landry 2.0 for the Dolphins, but
Oh, whoa, hold on. Calvin Ridley is out today.
That just came up. Oh boy.
Literally just dropped. I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, Calvin Ridley is out, and I'm doing my lineup, so looks like I'm also starting Waddle today. So I don't have a choice.
that is big fantasy news. Yeah, so
Yep.
Calvin Ridley out. How will that affect the rest of the team? Kyle Pitts now the number 1 receiver in Atlanta.
Go.
Yeah, easy. That's rank just climbing my board right now for
Or
sure.
is it Cordero
Yep,
Patterson?
100%. Oh God, don't even start. Don't even.
No, I still put Kyle Pitts probably top 5 tight end at this point. Easy.
Yeah, he has
Oh, yeah, with that
been
matchup, yeah.
improving every week. He's definitely shown he's a talented player, and he's the kind of guy who eventually, as soon as he starts finding his groove, and this is with Matt Ryan, who's been struggling a little bit this year, but just seeing them find their groove, seeing Kyle Pitts come more into form, and seeing more of what you saw from him out of Florida. This guy is one of probably the most physically gifted offensive weapon in this draft. And it's starting to show. Like, this guy is going to be a cheat code in the NFL for years to come. And as soon as they can get that going in Atlanta, like, he's going to be making big plays all the time. So,
For sure.
final answer. You're saying Higgins, you're saying Waddle?
Sure. Let's go. Let's lock it in.
Yes.
All right, I am breaking the tie. We're going Jalen Waddle.
Oh, boo! Get out of here.
And I'm not saying that biased at all. All right, John, I'm going to let you start off this next one coming in from Luca. So, Luca asks a couple of the same characters here. We got Mitchell, Higgins, Pittman, and Devontae Smith. Need 1 wide receiver and a flex, full PPR.
Right. So Mitchell, Higgins, Pittman, Devonta Smith. Tough call there. I do like Pittman to start as the receiver, just because I think that matchup is very nice. Carson Wentz is someone who I definitely would start myself this week. If I had been able to grab him on the waiver wire as someone to stream, and I think that Pittman definitely benefits. Hilton obviously helps out, but Zach Pascal going down. I think he's out. I can't remember though. I haven't done too deep of a dive before I set my lineups. But I think Pittman is just a solid option as well. He's performed very well this entire season. Looking for more. And then another one as your flex. I think I still go Higgins, to be honest. I mean, full PPR against the Jets. Like, they're gonna run up the score. It's gonna be pretty bad. Like I said, I'm lucky I'm not gonna be there today. But the only reason me not being there would have been I would have got to see Chase and Burrow, but it's okay. I'll let it pass today. So give me Pittman and Higgins.
Okay, so a couple other news coming in. As far as the Cleveland Browns go, they are going to be with both of their top wide receivers this game. Odell Beckham Jr. is officially active for the game alongside Jarvis Landry. But moving back to the question, I sorry, I gotta adjust some lineups. But Bud, what was your take on this? Mitchell, Higgins, Pittman, Devonta Smith need 1 wide receiver and a flex, full PPR.
Yeah. So, you said Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell. Yeah. So I'm gonna take him for sure as probably the flex, and then I would put in Pittman. I like Pittman a lot. He's shown he's the clear number 1 guy there now. I think that's safe to say. And but same thing for Mitchell. Mitchell is the number 1 guy. Trey Sermon is just not even getting work anymore. And I mean, who else is even there? JaMychal Hasty. He's not going to be the primary guy. I think we noticed this last week that it's very clear that Elijah Mitchell is going to be the clear cut number 1 guy over there. And even in a PPR format, I still think he's going to get a couple of receptions, but he's just going to be the pure workhorse running back. And I don't think you could go wrong with that at all.
All right. So we both chose Pittman. I agree with Pittman as well. But as a tiebreaker, I am going to go Mitchell over Higgins, but I do think that it's close. All right. So for those of you listening in, just a reminder, feel free to ask your questions Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We are here to answer all of them. And right now, I think it's time. I know it's a little early, but let's go to some rapid fire breakdown. I forgot who we were starting with. I gave you guys a little bit of a heads up this time. But John, how about you tell us about this Carolina-Atlanta matchup?
Carolina, Atlanta, two interesting teams for sure. Definitely on a little bit of a slide. Falcons playing a little bit better. I think there's going to be a lot of points, specifically from the Atlanta side. Matt Ryan, Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts. No Kyle, so definitely start Kyle Pitts. On the Panthers side, you better hope Sam Darnold remembered how to play football, because if not, he might be losing his job to Deshaun Watson. We'll see what happens there. Chuba Hubbard should have another great game, as well as DJ Moore.
All right, bud, you got Miami Buffalo.
Yeah, it's I'm not liking this for Miami at all. Buffalo bias aside, they are playing at Buffalo's home. Buffalo's coming off the bye. It's going to be a very good game for them. They're looking to get right after a bad loss against the Titans. I think Josh Allen and his receivers are going to feast today. Zach Moss is going to get involved. But on the other side, I do like Jalen Waddle. I do like Myles Gaskin to get some work. And hopefully Tua can stay healthy this time.
All right, John, we got San Francisco, Chicago.
No Matt Nagy. Enter Allen Robinson, baby. This is the Justin Fields, Allen Robinson show today, but it won't matter anyway because the Niners still are going to roll. No Khalil Mack from the Bears, so I do like Elijah Mitchell. Jimmy G should have a solid game. And then Deebo Samuel, obviously, start them all. This one should be pretty good game, but I think San Francisco rolls. But I do like Allen Robinson to finally pop off a little bit.
That's what I said last week. But, Bud, give us some Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
Yeah, so Eric Ebron is here, and Bobby talked about him. I like Pat Fryermuth here, the rookie. He's probably going to get some work today, so that's a guy to keep an eye on, especially if you're lacking at tight end. But I do like Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson here for sure. Big Ben, if you have to stream a quarterback. And on Cleveland side, we talked about the receivers being back and healthy, so that's something to keep an eye on. But Chubb is back, so that's good. But I expect
Eagles, Lions, John.
Philadelphia Eagles, start them all. I don't care. You can start the water boy for all I care, and he'll get you 5 points. They are going to absolutely roll over this Detroit Lions team. Man Campbell, he might be fired after this week because this team is real bad. DeAndre Swift, though, do like him. Start him on the Lions side. But give me all the Eagles. Hurts, Devonta Smith. Give me Hurts twice, too. Make him a running back, too. No Miles Sanders this week, so enter Gainwell. He should have another great
Colts.
week.
Yeah, sneaky good game. Me and K-Mac were talking about it earlier. This is a divisional rival matchup. Tennessee is rolling, man. They've beat the best teams in the AFC so far. And really, in them, Derrick Henry, of course, is your starting guy there. So you like him. You like A.J. Brown playing good. Julio's kind of like But on the other side, we like Pittman. We like Jonathan Taylor for sure. Streaming tight end, Mo Alley Cox if you have to. Or streaming quarterback, Carson Wentz. Which is what I'm doing today.
Bengals, Jets.
There you go.
Bengals, Jets. This is it. This is the Mike White show today. First career start for the third-year quarterback, but it won't matter because the Bengals are going to drop 60 on us. It's not going to be pretty. Yes, sir. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Uzoma. Start everyone, especially the defense. You know I hate defenses. You know what? Even start the kicker. I don't even know his name. Let's go.
All
no Corey
right,
Davis
Rams
on the Jets
at Texans.
Yeah, tough matchup for the Texans here again. David Johnson is the clear-cut running back there. I don't have a choice. I'm starting him against you today, John, so we'll see what happens there. But on the other side, Rams, yeah, man, they're tearing it up. Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver in football right now. And so you have him. Bobby Trees is probably going to get some work. Sneaky, I like Van Jefferson. Matt Stafford is a starter.
Patriots, Chargers, John.
This is definitely a revenge game for the Chargers. Looking forward to this one. Justin Herbert said he did not forget the drubbing he got last year when I think he had a whopping 6 fantasy points. BMW going to rev it up today. I like him to have a huge game, especially start that Chargers stack. Keenan Allen, Eckler is expected to play. Just watch the situation at hand. It might be a late scratch. Throw in Justin Jackson if he's out. Pat's side, I do like Mac Jones. I talked about him earlier in the week. David Harris definitely taking over that running back position, and Jacoby Myers should hopefully find a way to find the end zone and get that first touchdown.
Jacksonville,
one of these days,
Seattle.
Right?
Yeah, I actually like Jacksonville a lot in this. Seattle's really struggling. We talked about it earlier. K-Mac really like James Robinson here. Marvin Jones I like too. And I like Trevor Lawrence in this game. I even like the Jaguars defense. I think they're going to excel today. Seattle is kind of tough to trust. Alex Collins has been questionable all week. We know Penny's being involved in that run game.
Football team
and
Broncos.
Those receivers' stock has dropped.
Ugly game, not gonna lie. Two teams that are not very good, but you know what? They might figure it out. Heineke has a rough matchup going to Mile High against a very, very, very good Denver defense. Not expecting a lot from anyone outside of Gibson and maybe Scary Terry. The Broncos side, Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy game manager, has found a way to just keep his job, to be very efficient, not really turn the ball over. Should continue that as well as this football team defense.
All
Will get
right,
the ball out
we
quickly
got
against that
the
front seven.
Buccaneers Saints, bud.
Yeah, another good game. Another good divisional rival game. Tom Brady's been looking forward to this one, and he got to watch a game with the Mannings last week. You like all the receivers. Antonio Brown is out, and they said at least until week 10. So if you got Quinn or Evans, definitely sure to start. I think Gronk is 50-50, but other side, you like Alvin Kamara. And if you need to flex,
All
Callaway
right,
maybe,
Dallas
but
at
I don't
the
like anybody else.
Vikings, John.
Sneaky good game on Sunday Night Football. Dak is a true game time decision, but it's expected that he's going to play. If Dak doesn't play, don't roll your dice with the boys. I'll tell you that much right now. Again, assuming he does play, I like them to win this game, but I think it should be a one. Kirk Cousins is going to come in all fired up. You can say you like that and all that stuff. JJ, start all your studs here. Cook, ready to go. Zeke, ready to go. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper.
New
obviously,
York
should be a great one.
Giants, Kansas City Chiefs, bud.
Yeah, you hope the Chiefs can get right here. I hope Kelsey can get right because I just newly acquired him in a trade. So, but I mean, the Giants are capable of exposing that defense too. Daniel Jones could just throw the ball to Kadarius Toney all day and say, whatever. So you really like to see that. Barkley is still out. Booker's going to be the running back there. And other side, yeah, maybe you're starting Darrell Williams.
All right, I think that's
Kansas
time.
City, and
That is time.
that's it, yeah.
Man,
Time.
that was fun to kind of figure out as we go along. All right, so yeah, that is the rapid fire breakdown. I appreciate you guys rolling through that. Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens on bye. No more 5 of the best teams, 6 whatever it was last week on bye, like last week was. But John, was there any game that you wanted to break down just a little bit further? Any games that
Yeah, I
piqued
think
your
I'll talk
interest?
about. Yeah, I think obviously the game of the week is definitely that Tampa New Orleans game. You're seeing by far 2 of the best teams in obviously the 2 best teams in the NFC South. Even arguably 2 of the best teams in the NFC overall. Tampa just an absolute force, just rolling, and then New Orleans is kind of finding their groove ever since that since the beginning of since they started. Definitely trying to find their groove. Jameis has played very well. He has not turned the ball over. Which is very interesting. But another funny thing to note is that Tom Brady has double the passing yards, but they have the same amount of interceptions. So Winston is just being very more efficient, relying more a little bit on Alvin Kamara and his defense to get him those shorter fields and to just figure stuff out. Marcus Callaway, I think, is poised for a decent game as well. Along with Kamara, obviously got to start him. That top 3, top 4 pick that he is. Should be a good one though. I like it. I actually like the Saints here at home, to be honest.
All right. So what about you, bud? Any game that you wanted to take a look at a little closer?
Yeah. I'm looking at the list. I'm trying to pick one. What's one that we talked about?
Well, we talked about that Colts Titans game. Let's see. We also have.
Yeah, I got one. Let's talk about the Dallas Minnesota game because there's a lot of problems for Dallas if Dak Prescott does not start this game. A lot. And now I mean, I know what I told you guys yesterday was the expectation is Dak's going to start. Now I'm seeing I wake up and I see all this stuff on Twitter, and it's like, yeah, don't be so sure, and all this other stuff. And now there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, well, they've been running Cooper Rush and drills all week, and I'm like, bro, like, I don't even know who this guy is. We didn't even see him on Hard Knocks. We only saw like Ben DiNucci.
He
So
is
it's like,
officially on my Superflex roster now.
Oh my god! Well, I mean, yeah, you gotta pick some of those guys up just to kind of block other people. But
Well, it's because I have
what,
Dak Prescott too.
I was just gonna say you handcuffed the quarterback.
Nothing like a quarterback handcuff in Superflex.
And
no, dude,
it's Sunday Night Football. It's not like you can replace him with somebody else.
Dude, I have a poverty handcuff in my 2-quarterback dynasty league. I have Justin Fields and Andy Dalton as his handcuff.
Red Rocket.
Wow.
But so if Dak does not go, then that just plummets CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Gallup. Is Gallup officially back today?
I believe he is not.
I don't know yeah, so
I don't think he's back yet. Yeah.
That's basically what we're dealing with right now. So it's like, those guys are all just like their stock's going to plummet. And, it's a little bit easier if you're able to do what John did and go pick up Daniel Jones off the waiver wire and have him to be able to swap in because it's an even later game. And, at least know by this evening, hopefully, what's going on. I mean, I guarantee you we're not going to find out until the 4 o'clock slate, at least. So it's going to be like sometime after that.
We may not even find out till like 7:30 because they're saying they want him to go through warm-ups and see how he feels. Like it's going to be a very late,
true game time
scratch.
decision. They said.
Yeah, no, this isn't like gamesmanship with like a wide receiver to see or anything like that. This is like actually like they need to see how that calf responds. Like calf injuries are no joke. Like you could definitely be sidelined a while, especially if you like rush back from that too. Like that could just get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we talk about that with a lot of lower leg injuries too, like ankles. But like with a calf, like especially for a quarterback, I don't know which calf it is. I think if it's his right calf, that's what he's pushing off of, like when he's throwing. So like that's a big one.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, yeah. So it's just so crazy that it happened when he hit the game winner CeeDee Lamb, and then he has a week off and he's still dealing with it. So we know it's semi-severe. But I go to think about like really what this matters, and it doesn't matter a whole lot, but it does matter because you're playing like another NFC contender. So it's like they really need to win this game. So if Dak is not in and Cooper Rush is in, we saw what happens when the backup quarterback is in last season. So we know that we're going to see quick short passes. There will be no long passes to CeeDee Lamb. There will be no long passes to Cooper. It's going to be short, quick, and hope for Yak.
And that also means that they're stacking the box too. Because if you don't have that deep threat, they are going to focus all of their pressure on Ezekiel Elliott, on Tony Pollard, and that is going to mess with the entire game flow for the Dallas Cowboys.
Which we saw last year that that's what happened after Dak went down. Zeke went from being a top 3 fantasy running back to being barely like an RB, and like he was like a middle of the road RB2, and it's just so like there's a huge fantasy implications for this, and like I said, if you're a Dak owner, you need to be watching this closely. I know K-Mac is.
I'm a Dak owner and I'm a Zeke owner, so between the two of those, it is a tough situation.
A lot of random things happening with all that. I mean, it's impacting me. I'm a Zeke owner. I have no Dak shares, but I do have Lamb shares. I'm not going to bench him. I'm just going to roll with him and start him because he's my best option. I can't trust any of my other like guys that are basically like wide receiver 4 or flex options basically. So I'm still going to start Lamb and hope that he could get into the double digits if Dak is not throwing. But I am starting Zeke like in both of my ESPN leagues, and I'm starting Zeke and Pollard because I don't have any other better options. I can't trust Damian Williams because it looks like Khalil Herbert's the main guy. But like I'm starting both of them, and I'm just hoping that they both net me at least 10 points.
One get a touchdown from one and just all the yards from the other, right?
Basically, yeah.
Hey, I've run that
I'll take
Mike
what I can get.
Davis, Cordero Patterson quite a few times in one of my leagues that I have Christian
Can't go
McCaffrey,
wrong.
so that's tough. All right, so I got another question coming in from Twitter, but I'm gonna pose this to you first. PPR league, we got Robert Woods or Leonard Fournette at the flex.
Man, I kind of see the Rams just going buck wild today, but Leonard Fournette is like definitely getting like 75% of the carries over there. So it depends. I mean, if you want to get major upside, I would definitely go Robert Woods. But if you want to get a steady floor and probably a guaranteed 10 plus points and like one touchdown, I would probably go Leonard Fournette.
I agree. I think that Robert Woods does definitely bring the upside. But man, that Bucks offense is like they're on fire. Between Tom Brady just passing it, like throwing 50 touchdowns a game or whatever, and Leonard Fournette just coming in and scooping up touchdowns at will as well. Like that offense, like you want a part of anything you could get from that offense, unless it's Ronald Jones.
Yep, for sure.
So what are we saying? What are we telling Max? Are we going Bobby Trees or Fournette?
Yeah, I think I like Fournette honestly here. Like Bobby Trees, I think Bobby Trees does find the end zone, but I think Fournette just has a better game because I think it'll be a closer game too. So I think they'll definitely have to have more balanced offense and spread the rock a little bit more. And he's active in all facets of the game for Fournette, passing game and on the run game, obviously. So I think we lean Fournette. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I'm with John here too.
All right, so Max, that's it. Go with Fournette. Unless you need that upside play, then Bobby Trees is the way to go. All right, so just to give you all a reminder of you who are listening, you could ask your questions, bring it in on Twitter or Instagram at LMF Scramble, Facebook, The Last Minute Fantasy Scramble, and we are also live on Twitch, which you're probably listening to now at LMF Scramble. So yeah, let's I wanted to talk a little bit while we have a moment here, since we don't have any questions to answer right now, and talk about that game on Thursday night, which was very hard to watch as a Kyler Murray owner. Yeah, my Cardinals lost their first game. So what did you see specifically out of that Green Bay offense fantasy-wise that was banged up without having any of their top receivers, especially out of Aaron Rodgers and that rushing game, Bud?
I mean, let's be honest. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers specifically or the Packers specifically did anything like offensively like mind-blowing.
Besides hold the ball the whole time.
Yeah, they managed the game a crap ton better than the Cardinals did, and that was the primary strategy. Was like, okay, let's just go ahead and keep the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands, and it worked. And it wasn't just all like Aaron Jones, like AJ Dillon, man.
Dillon had the better game, to be honest.
AJ Dillon
Jones just found the end zone.
Yeah, AJ Dillon balled out, man, and it was a way better performance than he had the previous week, where he only dropped half a point or negative half a point
because he fumbled.
Yeah, so definitely a lot better. A lot of dynasty guys are going crazy for AJ Dillon right now. I wish I had him somewhere. Everybody pretty much grabbed him where I couldn't, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of showed it doesn't really matter who the who's on the receiving side of the ball there. Aaron Rodgers can manage a game, and I think that shows basically where they're at. And once those guys come back, I mean, this is an elite NFC team, and they're definitely going to be in the postseason now. And you wonder if there's going to be a rematch between these teams when they're both at full strength. And I think it's going to go to Packers' way again. Even their defense, which isn't even that good, and they have a rookie corner in Stokes, like they still played really good. They managed it. Kyler didn't even get a touchdown. He had 2 picks. And I know the last one was a fluke, and one where AJ Green's controller disconnected and he just fell apart there. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he really couldn't get anything going. But you see when he has no receivers, what it does. And the receivers that he did have were dropping. I don't know what's up with Christian Kirk, but that guy was dropping mad balls all night.
All 6 targets too.
he had a lot. He had a lot of opportunities to turn up on some big plays, big first downs, and he was dropping. And the only one that looked semi decent out of the bunch was Ertz and Moore. And I mean, Hopkins being out with this hamstring injury, it just showed like when your baller isn't there after one big play and he goes away, that's it. So I mean, definitely some question marks there for Arizona, but I mean, they are still a good team, but like everybody needs to be healthy. But I think it also showed a little bit of Kyler's inexperience when going against a veteran quarterback.
For sure. Now from that Cardinals side, they definitely struggled. Kyler Murray was really not on the field that often, and yeah, those Cardinals receivers were dropping a lot of balls, and that final play was just weird. But what was your biggest takeaway from how they played and what you could expect from the Cardinals going forward, John?
Like I said, like Bud hit pretty much everything out on the head, like pretty good. About the main thing, the main takeaway, like it's just hard to say like what a team did wrong when they just weren't on the field. Like Arizona's on the field for 22 minutes, so that's less than half of football. So Green Bay did a great job controlling the game. They knew that they couldn't let it go into a shootout. They couldn't let it go into a track meet because they weren't going to win. They just don't have the people to win that game without Adams, without Lazard, missing all the players that they were missing. But I think just going forward, like Arizona just has to be healthy. Like if Hopkins isn't healthy, this team really, like, who are you scared of? Like, are you scared of an aging AJ Green? Not really. Are you scared of Zach Ertz, who lost his job to Dallas Goedert? Not really. Are you scared of Christian Kirk? Probably not. Rondell Moore had a fumble. I mean, so like everyone was getting targeted, but they just weren't doing anything with it. AJ Green was the leading receiver after DeAndre Hopkins with 50 yards. DeAndre Hopkins had 2 receptions for 66 yards, and he played like, what, 15, 20 plays?
Yeah.
Like, better stat. DeAndre Hopkins had 1 reception for 55 yards. That was more than the total of everyone else on the team. Like their total, yeah. So that's unreal. So you can just see like how much they rely on Nuke. So hamstring injuries are tricky. Luckily, he has the extra rest that he'll be able to hopefully be back healthy. I know for your sake too. Hopefully he's healthy, came back.
Hopefully I got that stack.
Yeah, it's not a balanced offense. And Green Bay, again, I don't know if they were able to exploit the fact that it was definitely lucky that Hopkins was out. I think if Hopkins plays, Arizona probably wins the game on that last play because, let's be real, he's probably the best fade. He probably runs the best fade route in the NFL. But it was just like that's definitely a big red flag that they are so. I don't want to say one-dimensional because it's not one-dimensional. It's the way Kyler plays, being that dual threat quarterback he is. It's just like they have one big mouth, and if he's not there, it's just like they just didn't know what to do, and it was weird.
Yeah, and I mean, they are definitely talented. Like, you look at Rondell Moore, but he just needs some more polish. But you see the upside in him, the potential. But he had some really bad plays. And if you are being loose with the ball and not holding on and keeping your possessions going against the Green Bay Packers offense, which sees where the Arizona Cardinals' strength is and sees that, hey, if we can keep Kyler Murray off of the field, then we have a better chance to win. So they are starting to realize how to stop this offense that has gone undefeated up until that point, is to really just keep the ball away from him. So, yeah, that is something you can't do as Rondell Moore. You don't want to be losing the ball, and you just got to play it safe. And these are things that are coming to him. He is a rookie, I think long term, he can be the future top guy outside of DeAndre Hopkins in that system, but he's unpolished. He needs some work, and outside of Hopkins, who's not you're not certain about what's going on with him with his injury. All these other guys, they're hit or miss, especially from a fantasy perspective. You never know what you're going to get out of Kirk. You never know what you're going to get out of A.J. Green or Rondale Moore. They are potential to get you 150 yards and a touchdown, and they could also get you nothing. So it's the NFL may be catching up to how the Cardinals are playing this year if they observe what Green Bay did and play keep away from Kyler Murray. So it is a little worrisome as a Kyler owner. I know that he has that talent to keep them going forward, but I just hope that this whole possession thing isn't a trend going forward. All right, so we got some questions coming in, starting with Chad, who asks, if no Dak, are we going Tony or Lamb? John?
Oof. I think even with Dak, I think you go Tony. To be honest, I like his upside. I like his upside a lot, especially against that Chiefs team. Like I said, I'm borderline starting Daniel Jones over Dak, even if he is playing. No, I like Tony though. Actually, Lamb is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Lamb and Tony owner in different leagues. But I do like Tony, especially with the Dak question mark as well. Like we don't even say he starts. We don't even know if he's gonna play the full game because like if he re-aggravates that calf injury, that's even worse.
Absolutely. I think especially if no Dak, I would go Tony. If Dak is playing personally, I would go Lamb. I just think that upside of Lamb is too much that you can't really sit him if Dak is playing. But you're in a good situation that Dak is sitting on, or if Dak is out, you'll know because the Tony plays on Monday Night Football. So I think that's a good way to go. Go Tony if Dak isn't playing. If Dak is playing, do Lamb. But I'm interested in your thoughts on it, bud.
Yeah, I mean, I own both guys here. I'm in the same league, but I'm familiar enough with both of them. I like Tony coming into the league. I've had him in a few spots. He is really good, but he is coming out of injury. And of course, you always worry about that. But put it this way: if Dak does start, I like Lamb a lot more. But if Dak doesn't go, I talked about this earlier. It's specifically we know Lamb doesn't have the big play opportunity anymore. It's going to be short passes. You hope that you can root for Yak, but you know that the Minnesota defense is going to be all over these guys. They're probably going to play man-to-man in this case. So it's going to be hard for them to really do that unless they're able to shake a defender. So I do like Tony if Dak doesn't play. I don't think you could go wrong with that, especially going against a very weak Kansas City defense. But you got to start Lamb if Dak plays, though. You can't. Like he's ranked far more higher. He's had way more points. He has a little bit more experience. I do like him a lot more. But if Dak doesn't go, I can understand the move at that point.
All right. So this question coming in, but I'm going to ask this to you first. To me, this seems like a no-brainer, but I guess you're not sure with injuries. Start Nick Chubb or Khalil Herbert in a PPR league.
Yeah, I mean, Chubb's going. I'm starting Chubb. I do like the volume that Herbert is getting, but it's definitely Chubb for me if he's going because he's got to be healthy enough to play. And I think it was just more precautionary. Let's give you a couple weeks off, and then we'll bring you back. And then once Hunt got hurt, and I mean, they had D'Ernest, and that's like all well and good. At least they know that they could put that guy in as the number 2. But I think Chubb is like good, full systems go. No problems there.
Absolutely. If Chubb is playing, he's in my lineup no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's standard, doesn't matter if it's PPR, and especially with Kareem Hunt out, this does open up some goal line opportunities for him, in my opinion. I know D'Ernest Johnson could be filling in part of the role that Kareem Hunt left behind, but I think Chubb actually ends up with more of the workload, even coming off of an injury, than he did before Kareem Hunt went out. So, John, this question comes in from Freud. Do I play Higbee or leave Gronk in, cross my fingers, and hope he plays?
It's a tough one. I think Gronk he's a game time decision. Um, if it's any consolation, I'm rolling Higbee in a league. So I mean, I still believe in Tyler Higbee. I've talked about him in the past, like on our other podcast. Um, I don't think you can roll the dice with um with Gronk just yet, especially with that game time decision. They play at the same time though, right? Or
Let's
does
see here. So the Rams.
I have this
no, they
slate.
don't. No,
No.
yeah, no. The Rams are early slate. Yeah, I think you have to go here because I think
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, you definitely have to go Higbee regardless because I mean Gronk's probably going to be on a pitch count, but also like Higbee ends up seeing something absurd, like almost like 90% of snaps he's out there. You can't discount that fact. We talk a lot about snap share here, and you definitely gotta go Higbee on just on that front, and take it from a Higbee owner. Like I've rolled with him last year too. It's the same situation. He's not always going to get the work, but he does have like at least a steady floor. But he also has the potential to get 3 touchdowns. It happened last year. So
yeah, I mean, he runs the most routes of any. I think he runs the most routes of anyone on the team, like including the receivers, which is unreal. Just because he's out there every single play. And again, like last week he had 8 targets. The week before that he had 5 targets. So it's just like it's just when he's gonna pop off is more the thing. And Houston, the next couple of games are definitely some of his better games too. Houston, Tennessee, San Francisco. But this week, I still think, like I agree with Bud. You still roll out Higbee. Early slate game. Not sure what's going on with Gronk still. If he's even play, kind of want to see what happens with Gronk first before you roll him out.
All right. So we do have a question coming in from the Twitch Ginger Designer. Appreciate the question. Who asks, CD might be without Dak or Zach Moss versus Miami PPR. Bud, let's hear your non-biased Buffalo Bills opinion.
What was it again? I only heard it back down.
This is the situation right now. So,
okay,
are we risking holding out for CD Lamb with or without Dak, or play Zach Moss versus Miami PPR?
Yeah, it's a tough situation for me. I'm trying to think.
I got a big update after Bud finishes this.
Oh shoot!
It's not for this week. It's for next week, and it's going to affect someone in this call that will be very upset.
Are you?
Oh no!
Is it me?
It's you.
Is it Kyler?
It is Kyler.
Is he out?
He has a sprained ankle, and he could miss a week or 2 right now.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Sorry, I try not to curse too much. That's a big deal for like fantasy, like everywhere. Holy moly! I thought you were talking about it's gonna affect Zach Moss, and I'm like, no,
no. I just saw it on Twitter. So yeah. So Kyler owners, get ready.
Yep.
Who's the backup there?
Oh, I have to look it up. I'll right now.
It is a comedic name. I forgot who it was, but it is somebody who.
It is. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is it a Case Keenum or something like that?
No, he's in Cleveland because he just started.
All right, John. While we find out who the backup quarterback for Kyler Murray is,
it's Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy. That was it.
Anyways, no, we'll go back to Moss and Lamb. I still do like Lamb here, but only contingent on Dak. And I mean, we don't know. It's hard for me to say go fire up Zach Moss, but I do think Moss is going to be heavily involved. I know that him and Singletary pops up and gets some work sometimes. Zach Moss is going to run on this defense like big time, and I think that the Bills are going to get up early, and it's just going to become the Zach Moss and Josh Allen show on the ground. They're just going to clock and get out of this game ASAP.
Yeah, so I'm kind of feeling that same way. I think Zach Moss is going to have a good game, and it's just whether or not you want to be able to live with that decision that you're playing Zach Moss now, knowing that you might not be able to play CeeDee Lamb later. But there's a chance that Zach Moss might outscore CeeDee Lamb outright, even with Dak. So the safer play is to definitely go Zach Moss. I think that he has a solid floor in this game. I think he puts up double-digit fantasy points. And while on the other hand, CeeDee Lamb could put up 3 points and he could put up 30. So I think that's really where you are, how you're looking in this matchup, depending on what your team's looking like this week, whether you want to go for that safe play of Zach Moss or do the risky upside with CeeDee Lamb. And CeeDee Lamb is a really talented receiver. I know the game plan doesn't really favor it, but even if it is Cooper Rush throwing him the football, CeeDee Lamb's a guy who could take that and make a score happen. So it's not entirely certain that even if Dak doesn't play, that CeeDee Lamb won't have a good game. So I know this isn't helping your question at all, because I think that this is a really tough decision. But yeah, Moss, he says he is going Moss. That is Bud's guy. So, I think it's not a bad play. That's definitely the safe option, and I think he's going to get you double-digit fantasy points.
Yep. Appreciate the follow also, Ginger.
Yeah, thanks, Ginger. All right, so let's go to some questions coming in on Twitter. Let's see here. Please help. Need one. T. Higgins, Robert Woods, or Emmanuel Sanders. Much appreciated. Who wants to take this one?
I'll go, but I got the last one. So it's Higgins, Sanders,
And Bobby Trees.
and who was the third? Bobby Trees. Man, a lot of Bobby Trees owners coming out of the woodwork today.
I'm officially a new Bobby Trees owner. Traded away Damian
Let's
Harris
go.
for him. We'll see how that goes.
They're all pretty much like in like the same realm in that wide receiver 2, potentially wide receiver 1 category. And they all have good matchups too. I think I'll still lean Higgins here, just because that's are actually that bad. I think the Rams do blow out Houston, so I think that'll limit Bobby Trees and Sanders. I think again, same thing. I think the Dolphins. All 3 teams are gonna get blown out. Let me preface, not saying the Jets are gonna be close with the Bengals. All 3 teams will get blown out, but I think I still lean Higgins.
Yeah, I think Higgins and Robert Woods are pretty close here. It is becoming apparent that Cooper Kupp is the number 1 guy there, and it's becoming apparent in Cincinnati that Jamar Chase is the number 1 guy there. However, T. Higgins has still put up numbers. Robert Woods could still put up numbers. I think Emmanuel Sanders, while he could also put up numbers himself, I think he is the odd man out in that situation, just because I really like the other two's matchups, and I think that Josh Allen's going to spread the ball out a bit more, even though we do not have a Dawson Knox this week, so it could open up the door a lot for Emmanuel Sanders. Bud, what is your take on this question?
Yeah, I mean, I like Manny Sanders, and he does find the box occasionally, but like he's a touchdown or bust wide receiver at this rate. I do like Higgins a lot, and I do like Bobby Tree. But yeah, they are virtually neck and neck, just because they have guys that are performing a little bit higher than them, so they're kind of like second rung on the totem pole right now. So I do like Chase, just because the matchup is a little bit. I mean, both matchups are really good. You can't go wrong. But I think that the game script in the Rams game is going to turn into Darrell Henderson running the ball once they get up again. So, we have to factor in how the games are going to go and how much work the receivers are going to get. Because, I mean, look at it this way. If the Rams are winning so much, by the time we get to the fourth quarter, Matt Stafford might not even be in the game, and it just might be Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson the whole time. So I mean, same case with T. Higgins. It might turn into Chris Evans and Joe Mixon carrying the ball and just killing the clock. But at least you know that Joe Burrow is going to be like, okay, let's keep these numbers up, guys, and kind of divvy the ball out to everybody. So I do like Chase a little bit more. He's an elite wide receiver. It's not to take anything away from Robert Woods, but I think that there's going to be a lot more coverage on Jamar. So it'll probably be Higgins first before it becomes Chase. So I do like Higgins a lot in this situation.
All right, bud. At Carolyn Babbles asks, can you help me beat my boyfriend this week? Mahomes or Burrow as QB in the lineup?
Why do people have questions?
I'm interested in hearing your opinion specifically, Bud, because I'm not 100% convinced it's going to be Mahomes.
No, it's not. It's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
I like Joe Burrow a lot, and I mean, I'm starting in multiple leagues this week. I was all in on him just because I knew his stock is going to be down a little bit from the training camp nervousness, but I really like it. And Mahomes is just, I mean, they say he's not concussed. I mean, who knows? But there's something not going on right with that team right now in that offense. I mean, if they had their bye week like now, they would be able to go ahead and situate and try to reconfigure themselves a little bit and get right. But they're having some issues, man. I don't know what it is, but I just think it's an easier and a better matchup for Joe Burrow in this case.
Yeah, I think that Burrow is very quickly cementing himself as one of those top tier quarterbacks. And yeah, Mahomes and that Chiefs offense is just struggling. I do expect a bounce back game against the New York Giants here, but Burrow is going to have a field day against the Jets. It's not going to be pretty.
Yep.
So we're going with Burrow?
Yep.
Rolling with Burrow?
I'm going with Burrow. Yeah, I'm going with Burrow.
All right. So there you go, Carolyn. Hopefully this will help you beat your boyfriend. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have a question from Derek to John. I'll ask you this one. Who should I start in my flex, Elijah Mitchell or DK Metcalf?
That's a tough one. Elijah Mitchell does get a good workload, especially with no Khalil Mack in the game. We talked about him a little earlier. DK is just a beast, though. They have Jacksonville, but how much faith do we have in Geno Smith? I know Geno's pro tank, and I'm pro tank too. So again, like even looking at last week, DK was 2 for 5, 96, and he did find the end zone though on that really the long play, the 84-yard touchdown. So he really didn't do much other than the. Yep, I agree. I lost the game because of it, but
Same.
It's okay. No salty tears here. He's just not getting he's not really getting the work without with Russell not in there. So I think I go Mitchell as much as I love DK. I think he's super cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, no, I think Mitchell is in a good situation. He's starting to carve out his role as the number one running back in San Francisco. And as we mentioned on the show plenty of times, the number one running back in San Francisco, whoever it is going to put up numbers. However, with that weird Shanahan offense, sometimes it's hard to tell. And with the rotating carousel of injuries that is the San Francisco 49ers, right now, Mitchell's the guy, but who knows what it's going to be 3 weeks from now. So I like Mitchell in this matchup. I think that I would personally go with him over DK Metcalf as well. All right, so let's see here. We got more questions rolling in on Twitter. So let's see here. All right, Bud. Need 3. Are you ready?
Yes.
Brandon Cooks, Kadarius Toney, Khalil Herbert, Michael Carter, Marvin Jones.
Get your pen out.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, Kadarius Toney, Khalil Herbert, Michael Carter, or Marvin Jones.
Jeez, man, so many.
While you're thinking about that, I'll let you think about that for a minute.
3. No,
yeah.
I got it. I got it. Tony, Herbert, and Marvin Jones.
Tony, Herbert, and Marvin Jones. Final answer?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's easy. I already had like a fade. I just had to choose between somebody else. I just Cooks is there, but it's whatever, man. I don't trust anything Houston.
I feel ya.
There you go.
All right. So this question is coming in. Let's see here. All right. Oren says, need 1 in 6 help in PPR, 1 running back, and a flex. Elijah Mitchell, Kenny Gainwell, Darrell Williams, and Brandon Cooks. One running back, one flex. John?
Definitely Gainwell for sure, running back. Wait, yeah, because they have the later game, I think. And then what are the other ones?
Elijah Mitchell,
is-
Darrell Williams, and Brandon Cooks.
I think Mitchell Gainwell for sure. I like those two.
I agree.
Williams. Yeah, I'm starting Williams in a league just because I'm a CEH owner, but I think Gainwell Mitchell are the two de factos right there.
All right, Bud. Ralph asks, take a chance on Dak or play Tannehill?
I think you got Tannehill if we really don't know what's going on. I would definitely go with Tannehill in this case. Been playing good. AJ Brown has been playing good also. And I think this is going to be a pretty tough matchup for him. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth. So I do expect Tannehill to be probably a little bit better, and it's just safer. You know that he's going to start. We don't know what's up with Dak. Don't take a chance if you need to win, because then otherwise you're going to score. You're going to have no quarterback. Just Tannehill. Don't even think about it.
All right. So, John, Eric asks, Chuba Hubbard or Devontae Booker?
Oof, that's a tough one. I actually might be controversial. I like Booker here actually because I feel like that Atlanta defense is coming along nicely, or definitely coming along from what they were. And I think Booker is poised for a big game, especially with how bad that Kansas City defense is.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think Devontae Booker is posed for a good week on Monday Night Football. I like him for sure. But I am interested on your take in the matter.
What? What's the matter? Sorry, I'm reading inactives and things right now.
All right, you know what? I got a different question for you.
Multitasking.
Also involving Chuba Hubbard, even though it's written as Chris Hubbard, I'm just going to make the assumption that this is Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Khalil Herbert or Chuba Hubbard? Or Chris Hubbard?
Yeah, I probably... They're both going to get a lot of work. I don't know, man. Something about the Carolina offense just kind of worries me. I mean, well, that's not to say that the Bears offense doesn't worry me either, but I mean, at least we know that Khalil Herbert's going to get a majority of the carries there, regardless of Damian Williams being there, or Damian Williams being there or not. So I do like Herbert a little bit more, and they're probably going to lean on him a lot.
All right, so I like Khalil Herbert too in this situation. Like, I feel that last week was a good indicator of seeing how it was going to look with Damian Williams back in the lineup as well. So, I mean, that I think goes to show Chuba Hubbard isn't a bad play either, but I think Khalil Herbert definitely against the San Francisco 49ers defense, I think he's going to do just fine. All right, John, we got some flex options coming in from G_Detroit. We have Gage, Pirine, Landry, or Parker.
Just one? Start one?
Start one.
Gage, Pirine, Landry, Parker. You know, I'm feeling Landry. I am feeling even with Baker not being full. I was watching NFL Countdown before we got on, and they were talking about how how Baker's going to be wearing like this shoulder thing or something. It limits like mobility. It's not very comfortable, and quarterbacks don't normally wear it. So I think that's going to limit his throwing a little bit. So he's probably going to stay more like underneath stuff. So I think that's where Landry shines. He always has, and I think that this is a big time game. So I like Landry there.
All right, so we are rolling with Landry here. All right.
I like Gage.
What?
Get out of here, bud.
I mean, there is no Ridley. There's no Ridley.
No Ridley.
Yeah, there is no Ridley. Yeah, no, for sure.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, you got options. You got options.
Definitely got options.
All right,
But
G
I will
underscore
say-
Detroit. If you are listening here, we got one vote
You
for
got
Landry, one vote for Gage. I know I just responded to you and said Landry, but you know I kind of I'm favoring with Bud on this one. Now that Calvin Ridley is out, I think Kyle Pitts is still the number one receiver there, followed closely by Cordero Patterson. But after that, Gage is not a bad option. I think he is a decent upside play as well, because you know that he can go in there and score touchdowns as well. All right, we got a ready for another Manny Sanders question, Bud? Coming in from Alpha Chad.
I love Manny Sanders. Alpha Chad.
Alpha Chad, love it.
Man, what a Chad.
All right, for my flex, are we rolling with Manny Sanders, Michael Pittman Jr., or Devontae Booker?
Oh man, not bad options, but I like Pittman more than I like Manny Sanders. So, I mean,
yeah, I'm a big
with
fan
that.
of Pittman this week. I think that he's set to have a good game as well. So you know, I choose to go with Pittman in this matchup. Also, all right, flex, Mike Evans or Chuba Hubbard, John.
I always like flexing running backs, but
Really?
I still always. Why do you think I always have 3 running backs on my team? um, but I still God, it's so close because I think Mike Evans is always. I mean, well, I don't know. We'll see if Tom Brady actually holds true about never throwing him a touchdown again. Um, but no, I still go Evans. I think the floor I think the ceiling is still higher there, even though Hubbard might have a lower floor.
Yeah, or a higher floor is what you mean, right?
Sorry, opposite. Yeah,
Gotcha.
you got me.
All right. Just clarifying for the audience. All right. I feel that have we answered this question directly? All right.
Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore.
Oh,
Only
man,
the OGs know.
That was a long time ago. All right. Rick asks Khalil Herbert or Elijah Mitchell today. Bud.
Mitchell.
Mitchell. I am
I
making
think
that.
we're all in on Mitchell.
Yeah, I actually had that same decision myself. And I am rolling with Mitchell myself over Khalil Herbert. So yeah, I would go Mitchell there. All right. Let's see here. Zach Moss, Sterling Shepard, or Kadarius Toney. John, help a girl out.
Zach Moss, Tony, and who was the third?
Zach Moss, Sterling Shepard, or Kadarius Toney.
Oh, man, I wanna say Moss because Bud's right next to me, but I think I'm still gonna go Tony. Like, as I've talked him up enough this week, and I'm still on him. I'm high on the train.
All right, I just traded him away, so that shows where I am on the train with him. But I think that this week, though, with no Galladay and with still just a slew of banged up receivers, I do like Kadarius Toney in this matchup. But I think similar again, Zach Moss I think has a really nice floor for this week going up against the Dolphins rushing defense, which is not very good. But Kadarius Toney is the last few weeks that he has been healthy, he's been putting up mad numbers. Even the last time he was out there was looking good until he got hurt. So I do like Toney. So I'd go Toney as well. All right, let's see here. And for those of you who are just joining in, feel free to ask any questions in the Twitch chat as well as on Twitter and Instagram at LMF Scramble. All right. Jesus needs one at the flex. Waddle, Elijah Mitchell, or Darrell Williams, Bud?
Mitchell.
Easy. We are all
Mitchell.
rolling with Mitchell this week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mitchell.
yeah, Mitchell's very high on all of our boards this week. Like I said, he's taken over as that one guy in San Francisco. All right, half PPR. Dalton Schultz or Ricky Seals-Jones at the tight end with the possibility that Dak doesn't play. John?
Oh, that's a tough one. I hyped up Ricky Jones last week and he delivered for me. I am starting Dalton Schultz in a league that I know it's needed just because that's what I have.
I think another thing,
Uh,
backup quarterbacks do like throwing to tight ends.
Yeah, so I think you still go Schultz. I think Schultz is still the play, but Seals, yeah, I'm still gonna go Schultz, but I'm not really happy about it, to be honest.
I'm going RSJ. I'll go RSJ.
Man, so as
Yeah,
the
I mean,
tiebreaker here, unless did Bud saying he's going RSJ sway your mind in any way?
no, I mean, if I had RSJ, I would start him, but I don't, and I have Schultz, and I picked him up a couple weeks ago, and he's been great. I still think that I don't like the matchup really against Denver more than anything else. It's just for this week, it's a matchup. Maybe season I like RSJ depending on Logan Thomas, but this week I prefer the Dalton Schultz matchup even without Dak.
All right. Dennis Evans asks, fantasy football help needed. Who to start at wide receiver? Odell Beckham Jr. versus Pittsburgh or Pittman versus Tennessee? And I think that we might all be in agreement on this one, right? We're all going Pittman, right?
Correct.
All right.
No brainer.
Michael Pittman Jr. for sure. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. All right. Yuri asks, Amari Cooper, Russell Gage, or T.Y. Hilton, 0.5 PPR. John?
0.5 PPR. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do Gage. I'll say Gage.
Ooh.
I'll say Gage.
It's close. It's close.
It's close with Cooper. Not gonna lie, it's definitely close with Cooper. If Bobby was on here, Bobby would say Cooper's the alpha. Always start Cooper.
Yeah.
But Cooper clearly isn't the alpha anymore. Especially, or is Gallup coming back this week or no?
No.
Or
It's not.
No, it's not.
Like
Okay,
it, no.
not looking like it. Yeah,
I
another
haven't heard anything.
another game time decision apparently. No, I'll go Gage here though. I think that there's a severe drop off when Dak doesn't play with Cooper, and I think that question mark is going to be huge this week. So, like we already talked about, no Ridley, so Gage is probably still the third option, borderline second option, depending on how the run defense is with Patterson or against Patterson. So I still go Gage. I got Gage. I like that one.
All right. What's up, the Juice 411? Thanks for viewing in. We're here to answer your questions. Anything you got, feel free to let us know. All right. This question's coming in from Trav, and this includes a Dalvin Cook. But Damian Harris, Dalvin Cook, and Darrell Williams start 2 and bench 1.
I would bench Williams probably.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to at this point. I mean, you got to start Cook, so it's really between Darrell Williams and Damian Harris who you play.
Yeah, Dan Harris has been kind of balling out lately, and I really like his workload. Ramondre Stevenson really hasn't jumped in and taken anything. So, and I mean, behind him, it's what, J.J. Taylor and Bolden. And I mean, those are more pass catching guys. So, yeah. And the Juice, I just saw your comment right now. Yeah, I would say, Mitchell is definitely the better flex there. I'm benching Waddle, and I really don't like the matchup. Normally, I would run like a Tua Waddle stack, but it's kind of dicey for me. So we're really high on Mitchell this week, and I don't think you could go wrong with him. He's going to get you a safe floor, but definitely going to get you some points too.
Absolutely. All right, this question coming in from Jeff. John, I'll let you take this one. Need one of these for my flex. 1 point PPR. Damian Harris, Darrell Williams, and Chris Godwin.
Damian Harris, Darrell Williams, Chris Godwin.
I think we're fading Darrell Williams on this and really just deciding between Harris and Godwin, right?
Yeah, we're fading Williams this week for sure. I think we go Godwin, just because I think that Chargers game is going to become probably a little bit more of a not a slugfest. It's going to be more of like a track meet. So I think they'll be throwing a lot. So I think Harris is unfortunately going to fall to the wayside. I still like him overall, but I think Godwin is just the better play of the two, especially in another game that will probably that'll probably be another track meet, another high scoring affair as well. I do like Godwin overall.
Yeah, and I think that Damian Harris is a good safe option here, but just that upside that Godwin brings is like great. So, I think we would go with Godwin. I think we are mostly in agreement here. All right, a lot of questions involving Darrell Williams and Damian Harris. So I think it is kind of decided that we're going Damian Harris over Darrell Williams. But are we going Damian Harris over Zach Moss, bud?
Man, that's flip a coin. I think it really like a flip a coin at that point. We know that Damian Harris gets to work, but we know that Singletary might eat into Zach Moss a little, but I do think Zach Moss is going to get work. Man, really tough. I'll say Moss, but it's like I said, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
So my only issue with Damian Harris, I love Damian Harris. I've been riding him, but I did decide it was time to trade him away, mainly for the reason that he did have a great game last week against the Jets. But to me, if anything, that showed Bill Belichick and that offense that there are more running backs than just Damian Harris that they could rely on. Without Ramondre Stevenson in the lineup, it showed J.J. Taylor's a good option that you could use. It showed that Brandon Bolden is a great PPR option for them to use, especially in passing situations without James White. So I feel that Bill Belichick has historically loved not letting his running backs be good fantasy football options. And while I still think Damian Harris is a good bet throughout the rest of the season, I was a little worried as a Damian Harris owner, and I thought that it was a great opportunity to sell high. I did so myself. I no longer own any Damian Harris shares, and I would go Moss over Harris just by a little bit this week, but I think that Harris's role, and this is just my opinion, I think that it is going to be diminished a little bit in that New England Patriots offense, just from seeing the potential that all these other running backs bring. And Bill Belichick is not very fantasy friendly when it comes to the running back position. All right, who answered that? That was a long time ago. Who answered that? Bud, John?
Bud.
Yeah.
All right, John,
like
this one's
Bud.
for you. All right.
All right.
PPR, Cooks, or Shepard?
Cooks.
Easy. All you need to know. All right. So we are going Cooks for that. All right. Bud, Alex Collins or Melvin Gordon, PPR?
Ugh. I don't like either of these. Gordon, just because he's healthy and not the Seahawks.
Yeah, even though he is splitting that backfield, and personally prefer Javonte Williams in that backfield. I think he's the guy with more upside. Alex Collins, too many question marks surrounding him. All right, so let's see. Going through some more of these questions coming in. Cole Beasley or Devontae Smith? John?
Devonta Smith. Easy. Better matchup. Cole Beasley. Who knows where Cole Beasley will be? Devonta Smith.
Beasley traditionally struggles against the Dolphins too, so it's definitely Smith for me.
All right. Bud.
That's the insider information that I would not have given you. So shout outs to the Buffalo Bud right there.
All right, Nick Depp, welcome to the stream. All right, got another Mitchell or Darrell Williams. We answered this a couple of times already. We are all very high on Elijah Mitchell this week. Think he is in a great matchup and will have a great share of the football going up against the Chicago Bears. And the second part of this question, I'm going to let you answer this, Bud. Mooney or Shenault?
Oh man, it's hard to trust Mooney. I do like Laviska this week though. I think Trevor Lawrence is starting to get things going a little bit more. It's just hard for me to trust anybody on the Bears right now unless I absolutely have to. So I think you could go ahead with Laviska because it's just him, Marvin Jones, and Dan Arnold catching balls over there. So I mean that should tell you all you need to know, and we know how much of an explosive player he is. So I really like Laviska Shenault there.
Yeah, and that Seattle defense is far from the Legion of Boom, and they're letting up a lot of points to opposing players. I think that Shenault is probably the better play, at least between him and Mooney. And got one. Oh yeah, he said Calvin Ridley put you in that situation. Yeah, that is something that we kind of discovered. That was shocking. I wasn't seeing that. That definitely bumped up Pitt's value, Russell Gage's value, but also threw a lot of fantasy owners into a tough scenario where you're starting guys that you normally wouldn't. All right. Is it time to unload?
That's a good question. That's actually a really good question. I'll take it, I guess. I wouldn't.
I would buy Ridley myself. I like him long term.
Exactly. I would buy Ridley for the right price. It's a personal matter. It's not an injury. So this is what the second personal matter he's had because he had it happened. It happened for the London game.
What's the personal matter?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
My question.
Yeah, what is
my
it?
Question.
Yeah, because we know it's not COVID, because that would have come out.
Is it a family health thing going on, or is it like illegal issues?
Yeah, could it be like a rehab type thing, like a drug problem? Like we just don't know, and because they're being very quiet about it.
Yeah, and I think it's dangerous to assume, but at the same time, you don't know if this is going to be an issue that's going to keep coming back to bite him, and if this is a guy who will even be dependable to have for the playoffs. Personally, if you're going to sell him, wait for him to come back, wait for him to have a good week, and try to sell him then. But if not, me personally, I'd be looking for the Calvin Ridley owner just because of that upside that he could bring. His value probably isn't going to be very high right now with all the speculation going on, with things like this happening. Even though it came off a week last week where he did score a touchdown. I don't know. I'm personally not trading Calvin Ridley away right now. Definitely don't like selling low at all. So I'd say either wait for a good game or hold tight. You've seen what he's capable of when he is in the lineup and healthy. Yeah, I know. It's tough. I would say hold tight. That's my personal opinion. If you want to, if he goes off and has one of those great games in the next couple of weeks, that may be your opportunity to sell. But right now, you're not going to get nearly the value that you can get from him. So that's my personal opinion. But I'm curious what your thought is, Bud, as I know you got some Calvin Ridley shares yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I would be buying again at the right price. Same thing. I think it's a good time to poach if you're trying to get him.
But as a Ridley owner yourself, what are you doing?
I'm gonna hold him. I mean, I have some other options. Like at least, thank goodness, like Jerry Jeudy came back, or I'd be in like a really bad situation. Same thing with Tony. So yeah, I mean, I would sell him, but yeah, exactly what you said. I mean, you can't sell him just based on like the namesake and be like, oh yeah, he's out, but because you're definitely gonna lose value on him. If he comes back next week and he balls out, and you want to get out of this situation because you're a little concerned,
when you do it.
That's fine. Yeah, that's definitely the way you do it. You wait, and even if it's not like if it's a really good game, then obviously it's like, okay, go ahead and sell him high. But if he has a game where he only puts up like a four rack like 50 game and like not even a touchdown, and you'd be like, oh look, like hey, he's at least getting production. If you want to try to get out and be like, we know what he's capable of, and bundle him with somebody else, you might be able to get like a pure premium for him if you're able to sweet talk whoever you're trying to trade with.
All right, so John, I'm gonna ask you this one: PPR 12-team league, pick one: CeeDee Lamb, Robert Woods, or Tyler Lockett.
That's like a grab bag of unlucky circumstances. So CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Lockett, and who was the third?
Bobby Trees.
Bobby Trees. A lot of questions. Um.
To me, I think
God.
that Woods is a safe play here.
Yeah, Woods is
I
the
definitely
safest.
like him over
Woods is the,
Tyler Lockett. Basically, how I would rank
Yep.
it, and I think we're kind of all in agreement with this. CeeDee Lamb with
Woods,
Dak,
Lamb, Lockett.
then Robert Woods and Tyler Lockett.
Yep.
And where CeeDee
CeeDee
Lamb
Lamb
is,
without Dak. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb without Dak. Without Dak, I think it's still under Wood. It's under Woods, but he's higher than Lockett because Lockett without Russ is more so just no one with or yeah, wait, everyone without Russ seems to be struggling. Yeah, I think Woods is probably the safest play. I think Lamb has the best upside, and then Lockett just if you're starting Lockett, pray.
yeah. All right, bud. I know we talked about this earlier, but we did get the question in the chat again from Freud. He said, Higbee or Gronk?
Higby, like him a little bit more. Let's wait and see on Gronk. If we have a healthy option at tight end, we definitely want to go with that option. And we talked about how much Higby is involved in the snap share there. So Higby is healthy, good, ready to go, and he's in on a very high percentage of snaps. So let's go ahead and go with Higby. Gronk's probably going to be on a limited count here, so let's wait and see. And then if you want to go ahead and start going to normal with Gronkowski, you can. The only reason you should be starting Gronkowski is if you're like streaming tight ends and waiting for him to come back, and now he's your best option. But Higbee is definitely better than Gronk in this case. Let's wait and see how he is. Go with safer, take the floor.
All right.
Play it safe.
John, David Johnson or Amon-Ra St. Brown, PPR?
So David Johnson obviously is the is the go-to.
safe.
But St. Brown is good too. Yeah, David Johnson's de facto. And the Rams. You know what? Let's go St. Brown here. I think that Philly game is a deceptive shootout, even though I think Philly blows them out. But I think that Detroit puts up some points as long as hopefully Goff just doesn't turn the ball over. Yeah. So I like St. Brown.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I think that this is just another upside versus safety play.
Yep.
I think David Johnson is in a slightly better situation now, although he's always been, I don't know. Bud, what's your take on this? David Johnson or Amon-Ra St. Brown, PPR?
I'm starting David Johnson today, so
Oh man,
against you.
You are starting him against me.
I don't have a choice. But
Is that in our Superflex league?
yes.
I gotta look at that projections. I haven't looked at it. I set my lineup. I just never looked at who was supposed to win.
I almost started David Johnson, but I ended up going Melvin Gordon over him. But I was heavily considering it.
Yeah, weird situation with the receivers over there in Detroit. God, who's the new guy? I picked him up. I forgot his name already. Oh God, he had a good. Yeah, he had multiple like 100-yard weeks. Gosh, hold on, I'm pulling it up. Anyways, like I picked up St. Brown just because I was like, oh, good rookie. He's capable of getting to work. He was decent in college. And then he didn't do anything.
Khalif Raymond, is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, he came off a good game against the Rams.
John, do you have a
so
question for you? Sorry to cut you off here, but we want to get to some of these questions before we get. John, who do we have, Mooney or Claypool?
Oh, I'll go Mooney. I'll go Mooney. It's close, but I prefer Mooney.
All right. So yeah, just wanted to make sure we got that question in because we are getting short on time. We got 5 minutes left until kickoff, so let's try to get as many of your questions. If any of you have any questions to throw in real quick, need to start one in the flex. PPR, Terry McLaurin, Kenny Gainwell, or returning Jerry Jeudy?
Man, tough. I'll go Terry here.
All right. So we are going Terry with that. All right, just want to make sure that we get to all of your questions. Scrolling through Twitter right now to make sure and help you. And if you haven't, please give us a follow at LMF Scramble on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. You could also find us on Facebook. And every Tuesday we go on Spotify to answer to go over some of our waiver picks over there. All right, so let us get through these and just make sure we are answering every last one of your questions. I think that we are caught up for now. So let's get into a little breakout player of the week. So this is our segment where we take a look at the ESPN projections and all choose a player who we expect to most exceed those projections. Starting with Bud, who is your guy for this breakout player of the week?
Oh yeah, I'm just picking right now. I never.
All right, John, who is your guy for breakout player of the week?
No. I have it though. Russell Gage. Let's go Gage.
Newly added
like it.
in with Calvin Ridley out. So let's see. John, who is your guy for breakout player of the week?
My breakout guy is Denzel Mims from the Jets. No Corey Davis, Mike White quarterback. There's literally no other receivers to start, and he's only projected like 4 points. So beat that upside. Let's go Denzel Mims.
Mims. All right, we talked about him quite a few times this week. I'm going with Elijah Mitchell. I think that he is due for a big game against the Chicago Bears. I was about to go Michael Pittman, but I think I'm rolling with Mitchell. We've recommended him for far too many people today. I'm starting him in our Superflex league, so yeah, I'm excited. All of you out there who are rolling with Mitchell, I'm right there with you. So let's see. We have 2 minutes left. Let's try and see if we could get to any more of these questions coming in. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, just trying to catch up. Let's see. All right, here we go. Robbie Anderson or Van Jefferson? John?
Robbie Anderson.
All right. Let's see here. Bud, Tim Patrick or Darnell Mooney?
Tim Patrick for me.
All right, Sean. Waddle, Mike Davis or David Johnson?
Waddle.
All right, Bud, Gage, Khalif Raymond or Van Jefferson? Pittman or China? What?
China.
Maybe
Country,
Chuba?
Go.
Really say China? I don't want to be like Enes Kanter and get in trouble.
Yeah,
here.
but be careful
I'm
here.
going
All right.
Gage.
Let's just do this. Cordero Patterson, Mike Williams, or Deontay Johnson, half PPR, pick one. Last question of the day.
Oh, Patterson.
Oh, I gotta change. Do I still
Roll it.
have the Bengals winning today? Yeah, they're gonna do this. All right.
I hope you do.
In suicide?
Yeah,
That's a free suicide pick.
I had to pick my suicide. For survival pool, not Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. All right. Sorry, you said Patterson? Oh, it's 1:00 anyways.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. All right. So, thank you everybody who tuned in to the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. If this is your first time watching, really appreciate it. We are here every Sunday from 11:30 a.m. all the way up to the kickoff of the 1 p.m. Eastern games. You can also catch us on Twitter, on Instagram, and at Twitch at LMF Scramble. We are on Facebook at the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. And Tuesdays, we post our waiver show on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find our podcasts. And last but not least, we are helping you out if you are streaming at the quarterback, tight end, or defensive positions. Every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we release videos on our Instagram page previewing the top 3 streaming picks at each of those positions. So make sure to follow us on all those platforms to stay up to date, and we are going to answer each and every one of your questions on Sunday if you could bring it in here. So for Buffalo Bud Stanio up in the upper left-hand corner, we got John Viveros over on the upper right. I'm Kevin K. Mac McCartney. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on Tuesday with our Waiver Wire show.